What's up, guys? Thought I'd talk to you today about some cool stuff that's happening to me. And I know a lot of you guys are wanting to come to Japan, and you've heard stories about how hard it is to get here. And it is very difficult to come, mainly because of things that foreigners do here. Because of the way the Japanese society is set up, if one person does something in the society, they're all judged by it. So there was some kids that went to a soccer tournament, I think, something like that, a few months ago, and they went to Korea. And while in Korea, a bunch of them went into a store and stole stuff, and they were competing in an international tournament. And they came back to Japan, and now Korea wanted them to send these kids back over there so they could be charged with theft and apologize to the places and stuff. So that's the way their society works. Their society works in a way where if one person does something, you're all judged by it, which is why a lot of them will ask you things like, if somebody does something in America, then they look at me and ask me, like, do I feel bad about it, because of somebody that I don't know, I've never met, maybe a state I've never even been to, or a city I've never been to. Do I feel bad because of that person doing that, like it's partly my fault. Basically, that's how they look at it in Japanese society. So it makes it very difficult to get here. But because of the Syrian crisis and stuff, they're starting to change, they're thinking about changing the laws, especially for people who feel oppressed or persecuted in their countries. One of which is, they have said, they actually spoke this and said that it was partly due to transgenders as well, and gays and lesbians. So, but mainly transgenders, because as I've said in other videos before, the problem I have with the LGBT community is I really feel that the T should leave. We should go someplace else, because as a lesbian and a lot of these gays, they tend to be white knights and manginas for the feminists, and they use transgender issues and transgender people to spearhead their organizations and give themselves credibility. And then when they make laws and they make advancements in the LGBT community, typically we're left out. When they make laws, when they talk about things, they bring us up as an afterthought. And we're in the forefront now, and that's why they're grabbing a hold of us so much. But the fact is, I've talked about this before as well, that in the feminist community, the transgender community, the transgender women are considered men who are just dressed up as women, who are just trying to be women. They're never going to be women. You don't know my struggle. You don't know what we go through, and you don't know about the misogyny and the patriarchy and all the fucking stupid ass bullshit they talk about, which is complete horse shit. And then you have the transgender females that are trying to be male, and they say they're just they're like deserters of the gender, of the female gender, kind of like they're anti-feminists by trying to be male, because feminists are truly man-haters, and they do that. The way you can tell that a woman that is a feminist or a mangina or a white knight, the way you can tell that they are man-haters is they allow all of the laws and all of the PC culture to affect men while not affecting women, unless a woman is speaking fairly about a man. All the laws that they create, like I've said before, are to subjugate men, So feminism isn't inclusive, it's exclusive. It's a gender privilege, and the privilege is for the women. Always has been, always will be. You know, so the only way to get out of that is to go to MGTOW. Now, the reason why I'm speaking about this is I want to give a lot of guys hope, because I've lived my whole life not really giving a fuck what people think, what people say, what people tell me about my life. And something that you'll see a lot is people who can't do something or don't have enough drive to do something will tell you you can't do it, you know. And it's mainly just because they can't do it, you know. And the thing that happened to me is I came here, I lived here before for 10 years. And I came back, and the person who rented me this house, she was an older lady, a little bit older than I am. And I told her I didn't have a visa, and I'm just coming back. I stayed here before for 10 years, and I just thought, you know, it'd be easy. I'd get my visa, and I'd be doing great. And she's like, no, you'll never get it. It's really hard to get a visa. You can't ever get it. It's really hard. So if I was dumb, and I actually believed people like that, I would have given up. And I paid, like I say, $8,800 for this house, you know. So the fact that I paid a bunch of money, I had spent $8,000 to ship a 20-foot container to Japan with all my shit from America in it, and I planned on leaving America for good. So that was in January. And January 16th, my birthday, is when I landed here. I turned 42. Now, here it is 9 months later. Still here, you know. It took a lot of fighting, and I've lost a lot of money. And I've lost a lot of time. I still don't have a job. I still don't have a residence card, which is what you need to work here. I don't really technically have a visa where I can work. I don't have a cell phone, you know. So there's a lot of hard times still ahead of me. But I went in, and I'm actually going to be one of the guinea pigs, and I'm going to be one of the people that help the Japanese government understand what's going on in America and in other countries with the transgender community. So I'm actually getting together a bunch of paperwork about the deaths and the suicide rate and the laws. The fact is in the United States, there's 38 states where it's legal, even though all the gays have all these rights and everybody can get married and everything. It's actually legal for many states, for 38 of them, for them to discriminate against you if you're transgender. You know, they can actually not hire you. They can actually fire you. You know, if you're working for some place and you say, I'm transgender and I'm going to transition, they can fire you. And there's no recourse for that in many states, 38 of them. So, and then we have the death rate keeps climbing. People keep dying. You know, people keep getting killed. And you can't walk the streets without fear of somebody beating you or somebody shooting you or somebody hurting you, even police officers. So my job here in Japan is to help them understand and to make, I'm going to get all the paperwork together, all the papers, and I'm going to I've already filed for refugee status, to where I'm giving up my American citizenship and becoming a Japanese citizen. And I'm going to turn in all the paperwork, so that, and I have to translate it. I'm translating it all to Japanese, so that they will have all the information on what's going on in America, what's going on in Canada, what's going on in England, what's going on in other countries like Russia, so that they can get a big view. I'm going to give them a huge stack of papers so that they can go through and they can check country by country. And I have to translate it all into Japanese. And I'm going to have my interview for this in December. So I have 2 months to get this stuff ready. So it's I'm hoping I will be able to change the way people are brought into this country. and help a lot of transgender people in America that want to come here. I have many transgender friends on Facebook and YouTube who are anime lovers. They like anime. And they would like to be able to come to Japan, but they've heard about how hard it is to get here and how hard it is to get visas and all these things. So my job is to try to make that a little bit easier for you. And so what I'm going to do is try my best to make a good impression and try to turn in as much paperwork as I can so that they can understand what's going on, understand the reason why Americans who are transgender might feel persecuted. And there's very good doctors here, I've heard. I haven't been to any of them yet, but I've heard that transitioning here is very, very good, that the doctors are very good. It's much easier. The one thing that is kind of annoying, they had to change laws, and they made some laws. I'll put some stuff in the description below about the Japanese laws, but they actually, the way the laws were set up, they had to say that transgender is actually a mental disorder, and that was the way they could get funding for it. So in the Japanese law, the Japanese literatures and stuff, they say that being transgender is a mental condition, but they don't really think that, but they had to do that so that they could get funding, and the government allowed them to do that. But the government doesn't think that, and neither do they. They just know that that's what they had to do. So I figured I'd come on and tell you that. And yeah, you know, I've applied for my refugee status, and I should find out about it pretty soon. It should be pretty cool. Maybe by January or February I'll be able to find out about that. But I need to go down still and find out if I can get a residence card. Because if I can get a residence card, I have a cell phone that I bought when I first got here, but I haven't been able to get the cell phone turned on because I don't have the residence card. So they call it a Shi-nu card. I don't have that card yet. So without that, I can't do it. But what was cool was you can come over here and stay on a tourist visa, but you can only stay for 3 months, for 90 days. Then you have to leave, and the cheapest place to go is Korea. It only costs like $250. I think the last time I went it was like $220. So you just fly over to Korea, stay there for a couple days, which was fun. You've seen the videos of that, of me when I went to Korea, and then you come back over. And I did that twice already. Once, the first time, I just flew over and came back the same day. I didn't even go off the airport. I stayed in the airport for like 6 hours, and then I came back right away. And then this time I went over there and I stayed for a week and then came back. And then this time my visa was going to be up on the 16th, so I went down there the day before yesterday. And when I went down there, they gave me 6 months. So now I've got a 6 months visa. So yeah. So when all these people are telling you, my whole life has been like this though. I never really listen to people who say like, you can't do that, you can't do this, things like that. A lot of people will tell you stuff like that in your life. Don't believe them. Just keep going, Keep going. Maybe eventually you'll give up, or you'll find out like you just can't do it, and then you'll do it. But don't listen to other people tell you when they tell you that you can't do something, because nobody else can tell you what you can and can't do. This is a free world, and you're a free person, and if you want to do something and you want to do it bad enough, well, then you'll figure out a way to do it, as I did. And like I say, there may be a lot of hard times ahead. I don't have a lot of money now because I've been living here now for 9 months, and I haven't had a job the whole time I've been here. So I've been selling off music equipment and stuff that I wanted to have. I bought it so that I could open a music store. The music store didn't pan out. I never did get a visa, and I spent like $5,000 on my store. So I wish I would have never done that, because then I would have that money in my bank account. And by now, with this 6-month thing, I might have been able to get a residency. I might have been able to get my Shi-nu card, and I might have been able to open up my shop now. And if I would have done that now, I would have had about $7,000 or $8,000 in the bank right now. So it would have helped me out, but I was stupid. Like I said the other day, we all do things that are we wish we wouldn't have done, but you have to do what you got to do, you know, so it's just one of those things. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I say, if you guys want to come to Japan, it can be hard, but refugee status is might be a little bit easier in the next coming year. So thanks for watching. Share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment or suggestions for videos. Everything will be in the description below. So thanks for watching.